2005, the 17th Maccabee, 6,667 Jewish athletes from 57 countries across the globe, the third largest sporting event in the world, an outpouring of passion and hope, a great affirmation of life and survival. Yet, it all began here.
This was the hiding place of Judah Maccabee, who took up arms against the Greeks in the 2nd century BCE to prevent Jewish culture from being overwhelmed and the Jewish nation from slowly disappearing. Almost 2,000 years later, a group of expatriates in Constantinople found themselves excluded from sports clubs in the city because they were Jewish. They turned to Judah Maccabee for inspiration, and on the 8th of January 1895, they set up their own gymnastics club. Jewish gymnastics clubs sprang up all over Europe. From the very first, they were concerned with more than mere physical fitness.
In 1903, all the clubs joined together under an umbrella organization, the Jewish Gymnastics Club. Over the next few years, their numbers increased. By 1921, the organization had become so extensive that it was decided to establish a worldwide movement called Maccabi World Union, with headquarters in Vienna. They took as their motto, a healthy spirit in a healthy body. By 1929, there were 22 regions and over 100,000 members. They were ready to set their sights on nothing less than a Jewish Olympiad.
The first Maccabiah in Eretz Yisrael was held in the spring of 1932. 390 athletes from 18 countries took part, including many previous Olympic medalists. It was a wonderful celebration of the strength of the Jewish community. But this was only the beginning.
By the second Maccabiah in 1935, the numbers had risen dramatically. Now, there were 28 countries that sent 1,350 athletes to compete in the Games.
About this time in London, a number of Jewish sports groups banded together to form Maccabi Association London, known as MAL. In 1937, they opened their new headquarters in Compiègne Gardens in northwest London.
By then, Nazism was casting a shadow over much of Europe. Fearing persecution, Maccabi World Union decided to join MAL in London. Together, they became such a powerful focus for Jews everywhere that Lord Haw railed against them in his broadcasts. After the war, it was discovered that Maccabi's executive would have been amongst the first people to be killed had the Germans invaded Britain. Many of Maccabi's leaders, both in Great Britain and worldwide, were drawn from the members of MAL. Perhaps the greatest of these was Pierre Gildersgame. In 1938, he helped set up Maccabi Union Great Britain, drawing all the clubs in the UK into one powerful organisation. Gildersgame was a true visionary who realised that it was vital to reach out to Jewish youth in the diaspora.
At an emotional meeting held in Switzerland in 1947 and attended by survivors of the Holocaust, the European Maccabi Confederation was born.
Since that time, the organisation has gone from strength to strength. There are now 34 member countries. The European Maccabi Games took place for the first time in Copenhagen in 1957 and have been held every 4 years since. With the encouragement of Maccabi World Union, similar groups were set up in the United States, Canada, South Africa, and Australia. In South America, where thousands of Jews had sought refuge, the Maccabi institutions of Argentina, Uruguay, Brazil, and Chile joined together in 1949 to create CLAM, the Confederation of Latin American Maccabi Clubs. It is now one of the largest territorial organizations with over 265,000 members.
All of these regional organizations came together in 1950 when the first post-war Maccabiah was held in the newly established state of Israel. It was a triumphant celebration of survival. Since 1953, the Maccabi Games have been held every 4 years in Tel Aviv, the visible symbol of the indomitable strength of the Jewish community.
Although the Maccabiah is still held every 4 years in Israel, many of the territorial organizations also host their own regional events. There are now Maccabi Games not just in Europe, but in Australia, Canada, and South Africa. The Jewish community centers in the United States also host Maccabi Games, while the Pan American Games in Latin America is one of the largest sports events in the Maccabi world.
When Fred Worms became president of World Maccabi in 1982, he put forward a far-reaching vision for the future of the organization.
I am not among those leaders within Maccabi who see sporting prowess as an absolute value. That was a concept of the ancient Greeks. For Maccabi and the diaspora, sport should not be an end in itself, and I shall devote much effort to promoting increased Jewishness and Jewish education, stressing the centrality of Israel. These are aims that Maccabi Great Britain has taken to heart in creating a comprehensive youth development program. Much of this takes place in Jewish schools, either within the regular curriculum or through lunch or after-schools clubs. Maccabi sports coaches work in Jewish primary schools, training 450 youngsters between the ages of 4 and 11 in a variety of sports each week. 17 primary schools now participate in 9 sports tournaments every year. Of those organized for Jewish secondary schools, the largest is the Track and Field Day, when over 500 athletes take part.
Maccabi Great Britain sponsors a national sports leadership program. Over 250 students attend 3 weekends a year for 3 years, learning to inspire others in their communities. We run winter and summer youth camps and organize tours to Israel and Poland so that young Jews can learn firsthand about their culture and history and understand why it is so important to continue to assert their Jewish identity. We have set up drama, music and dance workshops, as well as sponsoring arts festivals so that youngsters can explore their cultural heritage.
Over the years, Maccabi Great Britain has expanded its programs, reaching out to 25,000 members of the Jewish community throughout the UK. We have welcomed non-denominational organizations into our programs as an effective way to build bridges and overcome anti-Semitism. We have developed a mission statement endorsing the aims of Maccabi World Union.
To support the long-term future of British Jewry by engaging and developing the entire community, and especially young people, in a broad range of Jewish, sporting, educational and social activities, whilst actively promoting the centrality of Israel.
A number of community centres are affiliated to Maccabi Great Britain and have become a focus for our activities. Chief amongst these are our 3 Jewish football leagues: Maccabi Southern Primary for the under-15s, the Maccabi Southern Football Seniors for older youngsters, and and the Maccabi Masters for those over 35. Together, they form one of the largest amateur football leagues in the country, but there are flourishing leagues in almost every area, particularly in Glasgow and Manchester.
May 2007 saw the launch of the Community Fun Run, initiated by Maccabi Great Britain and involving 18 Jewish charitable organizations. 1,600 people took part in the event. Maccabi Challenge has been set up to integrate those with special needs into various sporting and cultural activities. One of the most successful ventures each year is the Maccabi Challenge trip to Israel, which allows youngsters to take part in new and different activities while learning more about their heritage.
The Street Project was set up in 1989 and relaunched as Streetwise in 2004 in partnership with the Community Security Trust. Our counsellors offer advice and support to over 8,000 youngsters, helping them deal with many of the social issues that confront them today.
Maccabi Great Britain maintains links with other territories by sending teams to regional Maccabi Games in Australia, South America and Europe, as well as those organised by JCC in the United States.
For generations, Maccabi has provided a model around which communities could rebuild. It has gathered together Jews from all political persuasions. It has held the diaspora close. In becoming involved with Maccabi Great Britain, you are joining not just a family of 25,000 British Jews. You will be welcomed by 750,000 people in 57 countries around the world. We hope that you will learn and grow with us, that you will make friends who will stay with you for the rest of your life. And above all, we want you to have fun. But being part of such a family carries with it a profound responsibility.